It is at time once again. It's October 30th. It's the night before, the night after the anniversary of 32nd anniversary of On Location, and it's the night before the Halloween Eve, and yeah, it's a Calcat show. That Calcat show started on Halloween Eve, 2009. Yeah, so technically 7 years ago, but we're counting this as the eighth season because 10th was short, and 11th was short. So 12th, 13th, and 14th. Right? Yeah, yeah. So what happened is like 2009 is year one, and 2009 was like 2 episodes, maybe 3. 2010 season 2, 2011 season 3, 2012 season 4. 2013 season 5, 14 season 6, 15 season 7, and this is season 8, 2016. Yeah, so other stuff. Yeah, Star Trek locations or Starship locations. I've decided on a cast that is usable in the game. Many names have been, all the names have been changed. Although the ones about that are us obviously have been changed. The storybook Bible thing. It's not a Bible. It's a show's Bible. It's a term for a show's Bible thing. It doesn't mean Bible. It basically has a stipulation, several more rules other than the original. The original was based on our high school and college adventures. Obviously, the new one can't be. So there's all this backstory about like where the overlords came from, where the Cillians came from, and all that. But as far as they're concerned, only Mark's Cards and I can do those characters in that situation. You won't actually see that situation, which is interesting. But you'll see other things. Also, the Adam Mayer Brown books. That's my real name. They are coming in 2017. They're coming back, so we're going to see them we're looking for a publisher, yeah, print on demand type of thing, or online type of thing. Yeah, so yeah, so coming soon. All of them: Distant Destiny, Starcrackers, the one that we worked on a couple of years ago about the stoner comedy, the one that was worked on this year, which was sort of a kind of a spiritual crossover between the stoner comedy and Starcrackers, which is not. It's kind of spiritually. Yeah, that one too. But not this one that we've just been working on for 2 or 3 months. This one is so in-house. It's this other locations thing that has become the show's Bible of this game. That's role-playing blog thing. Yeah, so none of that can be used, but at least you probably already know that from looking at the website. You've probably seen the Star Trek locations thing. It's well, Silly Trek was a neat thing, and it was what it was. Only we get to do Silly Trek. Everybody else gets to do everything else, basically, because no one else would get it. Basically, if we, yeah. Also, if you stray too far into it, then it's like, well, those other people that didn't like it would be like, why are you putting us in your story again? Yeah, don't do that. So there's like these other things. It's kind of like that guidelines with the Star Trek in a way, because it kind of says, well, basically you can't like make any kind of a profit from a fan film or fan game thing anyway, and you certainly can't use actual Star Trek names. So that also is different, even though it'll be obvious what the people were when they were before they were changed. Like you got like a Picard like guy in it, or a Riker like guy in it, or a Troy like person in it, and it's clearly them, but they've got different names. Yeah, none of the actors from Star Trek are in this. Let's make that clear. They're not in this. They don't know about it. None of the producers of Star Trek are in this. It's a fan thing. It's vaguely related to the Star Trek Chimera movie, Starship Chimera movie, and it's not going to be published either. So, well, you're going to see this game that's free. as well as the stuff that actually is published, which is different, which is books that are legitimate, that aren't parodies of other stuff. Yes, and as for the Transformers stuff, well, and Robotech stuff, we haven't come up with anything new yet. So, yeah, we don't want to just throw something at a wall and see if it sticks. I want to come up with something that's kind of cool. I do have a couple of the Master's Return characters, but I don't know what they're going to be doing in it. Yeah, so we'll see what if there's anything. They're transitioning to another toy line. This has the Titans Return. Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it. It's a little update. It's 32 years of On Location. That's the self-journal that was rarely seen on the internet. The blogs, the On Location Cat and On Location Cat Reviews too, and the Chimera channel. That's essentially what On Location is today. So there is a version of it today. Go see the vlog, see me comment on things. There was more personal blogs out there, but they were taken down because people complained and people got a little antsy and there's stuff like that. So we tend to not do personal blogs on the internet. So we just do the reviews and other stuff because, yeah, the other stuff is kind of like, I don't want to do that. If they figure out exactly where we're coming from, then that's not good. Now, I take it that when Starcrackers comes out, that not only will it have my real name on it, it'll also have Mark Scart's real name on it. Oh, and we'll have a review of it and stuff. So yeah, he was at least 30% of that story in his production, at least 30. Many of the characters and situations were very much Mark Scart's. He'd been working on well, I'm not going to give you his real name. But yeah, a lot of that was him. So that's a co-authorship. So was the Stoner comedy. So was this thing. Yeah. So, well, yeah, On Location 32 years since the On Location recorded the audio tape recorder academics class, like for 5 minutes or so, and. At least one of those people is still around out there. There's two, actually. There's Tim Cantrell, as the full name, and Angie Tyson. They're out there. So that's cool. We would try to film that original cast. I don't think that Jim Tucon, or Jim Buffkin, was there yet at that point. I don't think, yeah, he wasn't there yet. But those other two were there. Anyway, so, yeah, that's before Mark Scart's. Under his real name. Oh, yeah. So, that's my little snippet about the 30th. I'm not sure what tomorrow will bring. Usually they don't watch our Halloween specials. I'm not really planning to do a Halloween special. I'll probably just do a little blog thing like this and just talk about it. I don't plan on filming any of the holiday festival thing at all, really. Because, yeah, as one of the sort of volunteers at the kid thing, you kind of have to get everybody's permission to do that, and I didn't this year, so to go around, taking pictures. Just in case you film somebody, their parent freaks out and goes, "Oh no, you filmed the kid, walking along in a costume or something." Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble, so not going to do that. Yeah, so I figured out what the Star Trek Locations theme will essentially be in the thing. And that's good to know what the theme's going to be. So, yeah. Except for, there is, that's all we got so far in this story. We got several pages, hundreds of pages of stuff and notes and what's left of the storybook thing, the show's Bible. And then we got this other thing that's probably another 100 pages of the theme, which could be turned into sort of an episode, I guess. The dream stories were separated, it turns out, from the other ones, because determined that the dream stories are more modern. They've been updated to be like holodeck. There shouldn't be the holodeck. That didn't work. They should be some sort of actual away mission instead of the holodeck, because that's better than having it just be a fantasy and more interesting. Perhaps the characters in it encounter Cillians that are different from the Cillians we know now. Can't use all of those elements, just some of them. Part of the problem, of course, with the Cillian thing. Oh, as a main problem with the Cillian thing. Yeah, it's an in-joke. You don't get it. The characters, a lot of the characters, we don't have permission to use them. So we kind of have to step back and say, like, who can we actually use? And what can we actually use? If it's a long list of just unknown person, we'd had to take this guy out, then most of that's not going to make sense. So it's interesting looking at that and going like, what is actually usable in here? So yeah, narrowing that down. Yeah, a lot of it was Pine Hill. A lot of it was San Jose State, not post San Jose State. A lot of it was old Jung So-on footage that we made into Starfleet people, kind of without their permission, and I don't think they would like that now. I don't think they would go for that. So we have all that's gone. And the name has been changed to something else, Marshall Sportiest. But yeah, we just went through there and go, oh, I can't use that guy, can't use that admiral, can't use that captain, can't use that lieutenant. Yeah, kind of a waste of time, but hey, I don't want to figure it out. Anyway, so yeah, that's the role-playing game update. Basically, we've where I've spent a couple of weeks making something that ended up not being usable. Right. Well, oops. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, so tonight. Yeah. Greetings. Yeah. This is going to be a videotape of the Halloween night, which is not very impressive. There's some Star Trek Chimera stuff mentioned, and then there's the slideshow. So and discuss the overall Halloween last night experience. Now, according to Mark's cards from last night, there were plenty of people coming to his house, and he was busy handing out candy and scaring the children. At Jim Buffkin's house as well, there were kids out there handing out candy. He was handing out candy, being scary there too, with skulls and bones and things. As for Tim and Annie, I don't think there was some activity going on in their apartment complex. During behind the scenes of the fall festival, there was a lot of kids there, but not at our house. The house, there was hardly anybody. I would say 3 groups came in all of the last 2 hours. It was pathetic, probably because our front yard was pretty pathetic. One sign up saying, there's a witch that lives here with her goblins. That's it. Next year we'll have to do that better. Yeah. That's it. Next year we're going to have to do that better. So... yeah, the fall festival also featured some of the characters from the cast who you don't know. Johnny and his wife Elena and their little dog. The dog was startled by someone who doesn't like dogs, who's afraid of dogs. A fairly substantial-looking, strong-looking lady with tattoos and things. That you wouldn't think it'd be scared of dogs. She just looked, like a rocker chick or something. But for whatever reason, the dog freaked because he could sense when people are afraid of dogs, and he had to put the dog away in the truck. So with the window open, a little bit so it could breathe. Anyway, so it was a fairly cool, misty night. I had, of course, the Star Trek hoodie jacket. It was a Star Trek person. Also, Don, the Voyager guy, he was there. So there was an actor there. And he was there. Also, the one of the princess sisters of the
of the Team Mercer and Sammy were also there. Sammy was dressed as a Belle from Beauty and the Beast. There was some other people from the old college group as well, which was cool, although some of them were brooding. But the other ones were not, surprisingly. There were some others from the cast that were not brooding when they usually brood. So I can't say everybody's name; that would throw it off. But yeah, there were. So basically, they were enjoying. The ones that liked Halloween normally is a thing, liked it. The ones that were like doing other things didn't. The ones that had new babies or something, well, they didn't really. They were exhausted looking more than anything. So yeah, and there was this, but you don't know who these characters are. There was this one character that Mercer and Sammy. Personality-wise, they are very much like the characters from Frozen. The year that movie came out, they were all thrilled about it. Although for Halloween, they didn't go as the Frozen characters. As I speculated to Johnny, the reason they didn't do this was because it was too close to home. It was like, oh, would it be like, no, I'm not going to do that. It would be like, it would be like if Cal Cat decided to go as an autistic guy. What would be the point of that? It was like, no, it wouldn't work. You dress up like Rain Man or something as a parody. No one would get it. But yeah, or the accountant. Ooh, yes, that would be scary. Yes, and yeah, most of the Halloween candy is already remainder to the Target. So all the good stuff's gone. So I've just been there. So the next day. Yeah, so this was a recap of Halloween, and there's a few little things you can throw in there. Jumping the gun again with the film, the game. But the other exciting Brown novels, yes, they are actually not jumping the gun. They are finally getting around, after procrastinating for a year, getting around to putting them out. Because there was already some buzz and hype on the set of the church. that under my real name I'd already had 5 books out, but I hadn't had 5 books out yet. I had 3. He was counting the Kindle versions, I guess. No, I hadn't had 5 books. That was 3. It's confusing me with another guy named Ken, who has more than I do. I don't know how he can confuse me with that guy, but he did. Anyway, so, 3 books. But by the end of 2017, I'll have more than 5 books out, so there. But yes, some of them with Mark's cards under his real name as well. And this other Star Trek thing was just a thing to do for the 50th anniversary of Trek. Do a Star Trek game thing, bring that out, because we realized that the movie was not going to be done by the 50th anniversary in September has passed. So we're like, let's forward the game. Let's make that come out too. Well, it doesn't look like either of them will quite be ready. But it's not, it's being plugged as we were saying role-playing game, but I would say it's more like how when they do a playthrough and they have a live blog or a streaming thing, except it isn't really streaming, it's clearly reality TV. It's staged. It's a pre-recorded event, but still, we haven't sussed out how that would work yet, and who's in it yet, and what's about yet. We have to figure out who's in it, who's actually on board for real, as opposed to who's on board for we want to be on board. So we haven't figured that out yet. So that's a while off. Kymar probably will be coming out before the game. In other words, but it's still considered the 50th anniversary. Next year is the 30th of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So it's still coming. We still have much notoriety. Yes. And the Calicat show, as a whole, as we near the end of the year, is actually a moderate. It's about an average success as a YouTube channel, which to say is quite a bit of a jump from last year when it was not so average. The reviews channel is a C+, and the other one is a C-. This one, only because there isn't a lot of content that's new on this one. And there definitely is a trick to the content thing. Just haven't figured out what it is. I think in a lot of cases they have a Patreon or some other form of company that's running them. Yeah, it's like there's this guy, the Hydraulic Press channel that we discovered, where it looks like it's just some crazy Swedish guy who does these videos where he crushes things in his hydraulic press, but it isn't. It's actually reality TV, because if you look at where it comes from, the company it comes from, it's an MTV subsidiary. And because at one point he broke the fourth wall and the Dudesons showed up on the set. So I was like, okay, yeah, you guys are an MTV program. You're just pretending not to be. Yeah, with slick production values and an expensive press and all that, which is fine. Just admit you're an MTV program. That's fine. Some of these other lesser ones are eating programs have, or whatever. Cat one, Cat Fancy or something. Yeah, or you have Ellie Beast, who has connections from something. It's probably Pepsi, even though he claims it isn't, which is something. So, Shoe Nice, I don't know what. I guess the Cannabis Club of Colorado. I don't know what he's got over there, but so what does the Cal-Cat Show have? Well, actually, it doesn't have any sponsors, which is why it is not viral. There are some parodies on the Cal-Cat channel that, by all rights, are written like they should be viral, but apparently, unless you actually were in a company, the video doesn't make you a lot of hits. My most profile videos appear to be reviews of things and toys, and an occasional music video. And I do have the claim to fame that I have the only video of an Optimus Prime from the 80s being burned on a grill. No one else has done that anywhere. That should be enough right there. Poor Optimus Prime. But yes, and I probably have the most surreal cat video since Nyan Cat, where I've got cats and calypso music and insane camera crash zooms for the whole video, called Kitty Kitty Kit Cat, which it should be viral too, and has appeared on occasion on failed blog thingies, not necessarily on Tosh or some of the other ones, because if it appeared on Tosh it would be viral. It was more like some of the lesser ones, like, this is like a TV show fail. And also, recently, Vines failed. But we never had a Vine channel. Because even 2 years ago, I was like, this isn't going to work. Yeah, I cannot do a 6-second blog. It's not possible. Yeah, no. But yeah, we're not going to do Vines. So yes, actually the other compatriots of Valley Stories were on location of the family videos. They didn't do any either, really. Just like 1 or 2. They didn't really take off with the Vine stuff either. I don't know why not. They're as narcissistic as I am. They should have channels everywhere. Come on, guys. See, you use your Cal-Cat stage. You use your stage name for your main channel. It gets all your hits. And your real name is just your real name. So don't use your real name, use your stage name. It's like, yeah, I learned that from some other relatives and whatnot. Is their stage name. Yep. So that's Halloween, and now it's the 1st, and that's basically all I was ranting about yesterday. There was before I go, there was, and still will be, a potential appearance by one of the other Star Crackers film stars. We'd done a film in the 90s, later on in the 2000s, and an upgrade of it in 2012, 2014, finishing our fan film that had taken us literally almost 20 years. And 20 years to do. And Tim and us, he's going to be present in the Cal-Cat Show episode coming up. Yep, just like, I think last year we did a Jim one. We're going to interview Tim. Go to the Tim lands and find him and interview him. See what he's up to. I'm sure it will be probably a mixture of political and talk about like superhero movies, because that's usually what it ends up being, anyways. Uh, the status of politics and superhero movies. So yeah, so he has a kid now, so that's different. But yeah, so yes, none of the other main, well, I guess Angie, she had kids, but earlier, but yeah. So there were other characters in our group that had kids, but earlier they're grown. Most of them are grown. Her kids. She's probably going to do a FaceTime at some point. We'll see. It hasn't been arranged yet. So yeah, and we get to see that. Part of that is that she probably doesn't want to be all over the internet. So but yeah, I don't want to sort of be all over the internet. But yes, so there's no one quite like Calcat for being all over the internet. So, anyway, so there you go. There's Halloween. There's a little recap. Hope you like it.